I'm Laura Ray, and today I want to talk about 10 beauty mistakes that I was making. I love beauty, I love playing with makeup and skincare, but along the way I've tweaked a few things, especially in the past year. So today I want to share with you some of the mistakes I've made and some changes I've made to my routine. The first mistake I made was using skincare that was just too strong for my skin. I have really tried many different things. And at this point, because I started on skincare so young, like 12 years old, going to the dermatologist, putting heavy benzoyl peroxide and sulfur and retin-A in my skin is super sensitive. So what I have found that is really working for me is from Avène. They have a line called the Tolerance, and I am just loving this. This is a beautiful formula. I feel like my skin is really looking great. And they have an eye cream I'm just starting on, which is called Physiolift. Now, I've been using this from them for my face, this Physiolift, and all of this has retinaldehyde in it. And I'm excited about trying that because that is a form of vitamin A that is more gentle and made more for people with sensitive skin. Like I said, I've been on and off retin-A throughout my life to control acne. All of these products I've used in the past were to control breakouts. I had terrible acne on my face, my back, so I've been in and out of the dermatologist throughout my life for help with that skin issue. Well, my skin has never been better, and I think this Avène is perfect. I was using La Roche-Posay. I was very happy with that. Now, I still use the Japanese eye cream and skin cream that I talked about last week. If you haven't seen that video, you really ought to, because I'm talking about a lot of products you don't hear about all the time on YouTube or in marketing or advertising. So there were some great products over there. You ought to watch the video. But I'm loving this Avène line because of the retinaldehyde. Now, I also tried the Tolerance. They had a little kit where you could get the face wash and also this, which I'm loving. Now, this is water. And what I like about this is I wash my face and dry my face. And now with having this spray, I don't have to worry that my face is damp before I put anything on that needs to have water, like the hyaluronic acid. I spray it on even after powder just to give a finished look to my makeup. But this has been a game changer because now I can wash my face and go and do some things, and then if I'm not ready to put my skincare on, I can wait, spray this water on, and then put on my skincare at night. So I'm going to get a big can of this, but I wanted to try it, and it was part of a set that I purchased. But I'm very happy with all of these products, and I think they're doing great things for my skin. One of the mistakes I was making was not sleeping on my back. I've slept on my side my whole life, but I've noticed in the past couple of years, I'll wake up with like a line on my face that won't disappear for a while, maybe a couple of hours, or a fingernail in my face. So it's just a mess. So I wanted a pillow, but I didn't want to spend $200 or $300 on a pillow. So what I did was I bought the Your Face pillow. Now let me go ahead and take this case off. Another thing I bought was a silk pillowcase, and this one that I have, if I could just find the zipper, I'm just loving it. I love the pink case. It's so silky and wonderful, but this is what the Your Face pillow looks like. It's got like a little bumper here. I think of this like in a bowling alley with the bumpers on the sides, and your head just fits in here. Now, I bought the standard one. I didn't buy the king. So this is a smaller one. But this has helped me so much. And even if I roll to my side, I'm not laying all the way on the side of my face anymore. So I don't have creases in the morning. It has really helped. And of course, having a silk pillowcase makes a difference. Now, I have talked about the pillow before because it's such a great deal on Amazon, so much cheaper than other pillows on the market. Well, the company, Your Face Pillow, contacted me because they saw my video and they said they would like to be part of a giveaway. They saw that I do giveaways and they want to give away a pillow to one of you. So if you're interested, make sure you leave a comment, and that's all you have to do. Now, they gave me a code, LauraRay10, and you can get 10% off of the pillow. So I have the link below, and you just put the code in and you should get 10%. They said the other day they had the code all activated, ready to go on Amazon. So I'm really excited about that, and I thank them for contacting me, and I'm just loving the pillow. It has been wonderful. Now, my next mistake that I made was not babying my hair enough. I have always struggled with my hair. I had baby fine hair. I've done everything to it. When I was in elementary, I begged my mom to give me a lilt perm. I always wanted curly hair, and she did. And you know how those perms are, really rough on your hair. Well, I continued to perm my hair until I was around 19, and then at that point, it was like, if you're gonna color it or perm it, do one of them. So I've pretty much tortured my hair my whole life. When Olaplex came out, my stylist said, I think this is perfect for you. It's gonna rebuild your hair. Now, I had put in extensions in my hair for my daughter's wedding, and when I took them out, my hair just was horrible. It looked all broken. It was just in one of the worst conditions it's been in my life. And I really felt down about it, especially doing videos and being where people see my hair. It just looked terrible. So that's when I started on Olaplex, and what a difference. I use this now for home. It's the number 3. And again, this isn't a conditioner. This is a bond builder. Now, I just started on this. This is like a primer that you put on before you do the number 3. You leave this on, let's see, for 10 minutes. And then you put this on, and then you rinse it out and wash your hair. Now, I also use the new mask they came out with, the number 8, and that is wonderful. And I have the purple shampoo, so I have quite a few things from Olaplex. I love it. I feel like it's really brought my hair to life. This is the best condition that my hair has ever been in. So I think taking the extra time that I do now per week to maybe do one Olaplex, and then I usually do a deep conditioning mask, and just babying my hair more instead of just washing and drying it has made a big difference. Let's talk about some makeup mistakes. I was using way too much concealer, way too much, and it was just really aging me. I would have days when I wouldn't wear makeup, and I'd just look and go, my skin looks younger, a lot younger without makeup. So that's when I realized I really needed to cut back and use thinner amounts. So 2 drugstore concealers that I love is the Flower Beauty Concealer and the Maybelline, the Brightener, the Instant Age Rewind Brightener. Now, the way I apply it is I take a sponge now. I used to draw right on my skin or pat in a whole bunch, and it just brought out every line, every crease, and made my under eye area look really bad. Now, my eyes are very deep set, as you can see, so they get dark in the inner corner and dark in here where it looks receded. So what I've been doing for several months now is taking the concealer, taking a sponge, so I'm just getting a very minimal amount, and then going in these corners. I'm really on my nose, on the bridge of my nose. I'm not in the eye area. And I will just push that in to brighten the inner part of the eye like this, and just sort of blend it into whatever shadow that I'm wearing, and it really brightens that area up. And then I will take a little bit more and go right into this corner, and it also helps lift the eye because I'll go right where my shadow ended and then blend into the under lash line like this. And I'm just sort of dabbing, pushing it in, and then doing a little blending. But that really lifts the eyes and gives you a brighter look. And look at how little I used. This could last me like 45 years with as much as I'm using. I'm using so little and getting great results. And now I don't have it collecting under the eye. Just anyone my age, I'm 57, is going to have skin that is looser under the lash line. So when you go directly under the eye like this, it's going to collect in there, and the only way is to just get the thinnest amount. I've talked about the other trick that I do, that after I put concealer, if I do put any here, if I feel I have dark circles or I just do need to be brighter there, I just take this and roll underneath afterwards to remove any extra residue. But I've found that I really don't need to do that much anymore with using the little sponge and going right into the product like that. Another snafu I was making was putting just way too much foundation. It looked too thick on my skin. It brought out the texture of my skin, made my skin look heavier and almost a little saggier. So when I cut back on the amount of foundation, it just was almost like a facelift. It was unbelievable. So I started by putting my foundation into a compact. I've talked about these so much, so I'm not going to go into much detail, but I have lots of videos where I've talked about this. But I bought these and did my own DIY. I put in some of my different foundations into them and just did with the sponge a very thin coating. I would get a foundation that was heavily pigmented, but use a very thin amount, and that gave me a great look. Now, since I've also been buying some thinner foundations that would work on my skin. One is what I'm wearing today. I'm so excited. I've wanted to try this for so long. It's the MAC Studio Radiance. Now, Ulta is now carrying MAC makeup, and you couldn't be more happy about that. I went into Ulta, picked this up, and I'm just in love. Now, when I first put it on, I thought it wasn't going to work for me because it seemed too sheer. But this is so buildable. It goes on like water almost. When you put it on, it sinks into your skin. But I just let it dry a moment, and then I put some more on and just in the areas where I need it. So around the jawline, I have maybe one coat. In this area where I have more pores, more redness, I might have 2 or 3. Now, the great news about this is usually when I use this, I don't even wear concealer. I can go right up under the eyes, get in there, I go on my lid, everything. And it just is perfect for my everyday life if I'm just going to work. So I'm thrilled with this. I feel it was worth the money. The cool thing about this too is say you were going somewhere and you wanted your hands to look smoother. You could just put some of this right on your hands to cover up veins or brown spots that you have. And that's why it's face and body. It's meant for your body too. If you have a spot on your chest, you could cover that up. This is an amazing product. Now, a couple of others that are not as expensive. I'm loving this one from LA Girl. It's their tinted foundation. I talked about this the other week. It's amazing. It looks beautiful on my skin, gives me great coverage, is so thin. Actually, I had bought the wrong shade, went back, got the right shade for me, which is medium beige, and now I'm just using that other one, mixing the two, and I still get a great shade. But this looks beautiful on my skin. Now, another one I just have been trying is this one from Revolution. It's called Super Dewy Skin Tint. I like this one too. It's got a great pump, a lot of product, very reasonably priced. So this is another good one. And then last week I talked about products that aren't very popular on YouTube but are amazing. And I talked about the Gabriel foundation. If you're looking for something very clean, this is a clean brand. It's great. It's got the leaping bunny, everything. And I used it back in 2016 for a long time, in 17. And then with what I'm doing, I'm trying so many foundations all the time. But I have found when I wear this Gabriel, my skin, when I wash the makeup off, looks really good. So I think the ingredients that are in this, I know aloe's in it, are just really good for my skin. So I actually feel like this is protecting my skin during the day and giving it a much better look. My next mistake was not giving my face a break for makeup. I wear makeup to work every day, and a lot of times I'll go out on the weekend or I'll be filming a video, so I end up wearing makeup every day. And what I have done that has worked really well is some days I will do eyeliner but not wear mascara. I know some of you are saying I've got to wear mascara every day, but that gives your lashes a break from the products. I feel like my lashes look so much more amazing when I don't wear mascara for a couple of days. Now, one thing I'm doing for my lashes is I have been using this castor oil from Kate Blanc. Now, if you go on Amazon and look at this is under $10, so inexpensive. You will see thousands of good reviews. I think it was close to 10,000. I don't remember. Maybe it was 9 or 8, but it was a high number, and I had to try it. Now, what I found from this oil that's different, because I've used castor oil in the past, is it's thinner. Some of the castor oils I have purchased, organic castor oils, have been super thick. This seems a lot thinner to me and is so much easier to work with. You can see how thin that is. I've had castor oils where they're just really thick and they come out in a glump. Now, I have been using that on my lashes and brows. I am not seeing them grow super long, so I'm not going to make any claims about that, but an unexpected pleasant surprise happened. My lids My mobile lids here are super smooth, much smoother than they have been in years. And that is a major problem for most of us over 50, is that we get crinkly lids. So I'm thrilled with this. Even if my lashes never grow long, I will use it for that reason. Now, I will warn you, a lot of eye doctors are saying because people are using a lot of coconut oil to remove makeup and other oils that they've seen an uptick in the number of people coming in with eye things going on, little infections or swelling. So you have to be really careful with it. Make sure you test it, that you're not going to have any reaction to it, and that it's going to work for you. But what I do is I wash my hands really good, take a drop, put it on my finger, and just rub it into the lashes, into the brows. I go back and forth like a windshield wiper, and I really work it in. And what happens is while I'm sleeping, it all sort of migrates around, and my lids just have been amazing. So I'm really excited. I've never heard anybody say about castor oil changing your lids, but it has for me. Sometimes simple eye looks are the best. It's just true. And a lot of women have written me, especially women with hooded eyes, and they have watched maybe a tutorial I've done and they've said, oh, I just can't do that. I tried it. It was a mess and it's just too complicated. And I really get that because my daughter has hooded eyes and very tiny eyes, just probably half the size of what I have. And so when I've done her eye makeup before, what I've done is pretty much use one shade. You can wet the brush and make the eyeshadow look a little different, but I love keeping the eye look very simple. So I have a few suggestions if you've been struggling with your eye makeup. One is get yourself a cream shadow. Now this Revlon, I had read about this shade in Women's World one time, and they said this is like a universal shade that any woman, it would look gorgeous on their eyes. And this is Honey. I have loved this. And you can put some on a brush, you can put it on your finger and blend it. I usually do a combination of both. I'll put my finger and put it on, then take a brush or even just a simple sponge brush and blend it out. So that's one thing I can tell you from the drugstore. There's so many shades. This is another beautiful one, Praline, that I've used quite a bit. I have some of the bolder shades too, like the espresso, but they're absolutely beautiful and perfect if you have crepey eyes. It's great. Sometimes powders, especially shimmers, can make crepey eyes look crepier. So a nice cream shadow will work beautifully. For a little more money, I love this from Danessa Myricks. I talked about this last week, and the shade I'm wearing right now is called Expose. This is what I have on my lids combined with a Can Make palette. I want to show you that too because it's so affordable, beautiful, and what I've found is one of my mistakes, another mistake related to eyes, is that I was using too heavy and too thick of eyeshadows. You need to make sure it's very thin because that will make the skin look less heavy, more youthful. Now, this is a cream. You use so little. She has shades that are matte and shimmer, and they're just amazing. She also has a glaze you can put on top to get that very wet look to your eyes. But this kit that I talked about last week reminded me so much of the Pillow Talk shade, but it has a matte, a shimmer, and then the gloss in it. And this I'm so happy with. Now you can use these on your eyes, lips, and cheeks. So they're also great multitaskers, but these are so easy to use. I just put a little bit on my glass palette, and then I'll go into the brush and just blend it. I don't do this with my fingers. Although you can, I prefer to do it with a brush and just blend it out. And these don't move. They stay all day. They're absolutely amazing. I can't believe I will come home after 12 hours and my eye look will look exactly the same. They don't budge. And you can layer these. Like I put a little of the Can Make powder on top of this. So you can use a combination of this cream and powder together to get any look. And there's just thousands of looks you could create with these. So I'm really happy with this product. And when you put a thin amount on the eyes, your eyes can look absolutely beautiful. My next mistake is one I'm sure a lot of people feel they have made, and it's just not blending my makeup well enough. Putting it on thinking I was doing an amazing job blending, and later I would see a photo or something and go, oh my gosh, I see the lines of the eyeshadow, or I see my blush isn't blended well enough. So one thing that's helped me so much is the Stansout Sponge. Because just like when I used the MAC, the Face and Body today, I put it on, I rubbed it in, then I took my sponge and went over, just went on top and smoothed it out. And I find doing this, that foundation doesn't get in my lines anymore. Like before, I used to do my blending as well. Later, I would see some foundation right here in my lines, or maybe around my eyes, or in my forehead even, where foundation would collect. So now I make sure I put a really thin amount, and then once I feel I've blended it into the skin, I have a mirror that's like 3 times or 10 times, one of those kind of mirrors, and I will see where I need to blend better, and then I'll go in with the sponge and blend. So I use this throughout the whole makeup experience of putting it on, and by the end, all of my makeup is well blended. Now, another tip that I've talked about that I use so much, I use for my blush, my bronzer, my eyeshadows, is I take whatever product, go into it with a brush and blend it first into the brush. I've talked about this a lot, but if this is your first time you're seeing my video, I want to make sure to say it. Then I go into whatever I'm doing. This gives you an airbrush look. You don't get that main spot where you're hitting the eye first and then have to spend so long blending it out. So that's another tip. My last tip is brows. I was doing my brows way too harsh. I think they were aging me, making my deep set eyes look even more deep set, because it was sort of bringing out the brow and making my eyes look very sunk in, and that's not a great look. And also, I have very fine brows, and I've always had fine brows. It's nothing new. So I have found that the best thing for me is to stay away from pomades. Those don't work well for me. They're too harsh. They're great for someone younger, but I'm going for a much softer look. So what I've found that's worked great for me is the brow gels and a pencil, a very fine pencil. So the pencil I love would be the one from Flower Beauty. It's got such a fine point. I can draw in hairs that don't actually exist. And then I love their Fiber Fix. This has actual fibers in it, and that makes my brows look fluffier, look thicker. And then with the pencil, I can draw in any brows or hair, rather, that doesn't even exist. Now, on a higher end, I have loved this from Merit. I did a video about Merit several months ago. I've been using the products for quite a while now, and so I can speak to them very well at this point. I love this. This gives me such a soft brow. I never get like clumps of product. The case, the packaging is absolutely stunning, but whatever this formula is, it's just lighter than any drugstore. I've tried them all. I've tried e.l.f. I've tried Wet n Wild. I love the flower one, but this one has a lightness to it. So when I put it on, I just feel like the hairs are covered. I also have gray hair occasionally in my brows, so these kind of products cover that up. Now, the other thing I've done, I used to use like a medium brown pencil, because my regular hair color is light brown towards medium. And of course, I have highlights and color in my hair. So I was trying to match the brows more with that, but I heard a makeup artist a long time ago, which made me start thinking about the choice of color. Use the lightest you can get by with, and it's going to give you a much softer look. So that's when I turned to using taupe and blonde. And so what I do is use more of a blonde towards the front, so the front of my brow isn't so harsh. And then I'll use the darker on the tip, because I don't have a lot of hair on the tip, and that sort of makes it stand out a little bit more. But I have been thrilled with these two brow products. I would love to hear anything that you have changed in the past year. Are there any things you're doing differently? I think as we get older, I know myself, I keep constantly reevaluating. How's my skin doing? Just sort of doing a self-assessment if there's anything I need to change or step my game up. So I would love to hear anything that you have changed. Don't forget about the discount on the pillow, Laura Ray 10, if you're interested or we're thinking about buying the pillow. I am thrilled with it, and I think it's helped me so much, so I hope it'll help you if you're looking for one. And that's our giveaway for this week. Thank you so much for shopping my links. It really helps support my channel. And if you go to the first pinned comment, the link for all the products is there. And I really appreciate you so much. I thank you for your comments. It's so encouraging to me. And I hope you will have an amazing week. I'll see you soon.